Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is a scene for the Kingdom of the Southern Gates. So, Tolia Petrova, the fairy godfather, has decided to help out and try to facilitate an open dialogue between Fiona Stormborn and Rose Black, two women who are currently at essentially odds. Petrova is well known for being a good mediator. Rose is staying at his house for the moment, as are the entirety of the Spring Court who live in the Spring Court. And they're working out of his manor. As the Spring Court was destroyed, and hopefully, as the court is in a state of rebuilding, he can help them rebuild this and repair. For those who are unaware of the situation, to put it as neutrally as possible, Rose is pregnant with the child of Fiona's partner, and her lover, her live-in partner. They had a brief romance, which Dominic, her partner, kept putting off telling Fiona, not realizing that they were in a relationship, her and Fiona. Complicated, convoluted, and has led us to the situation we're in right now. So these two women are basically sitting in armchairs across from Tolia, who's sitting in his own armchair. They've had water and fruit and tissue and things like that brought to the setting so that they can essentially not need anything while they're here trying to work this out. And Petrova will smile to the both of them.
Rose will smile to him. Yeah, she's just sitting there. She's kind of wringing her hands. You can tell that
And
she's
hold it
nervous.
to Fiona.
Fiona has literally only stopped staring at Rose once Tolia has smiled at her. When she will turn and she will offer a smile back and look directly back to Rose. She has a rubber band ball that she's just kind of rolling around on the table. I assume we're at a table.
No, actually, it's three chairs sit, like, kind of a distance between them. So it's
Okay.
a little casual, actually.
Okay, so she has a rubber band ball in her hands and she's just kind of rolling it around. And the electricity elemental may recognize that this is somewhat her offering an olive branch as well as she can, since rubber, as we all know, is non-conductive.
Mm-hmm. So Petrova will clear his throat, and he'll say, "First off, I wanted to thank the both of you for coming here today. You didn't have to, and the fact that you even showed up shows that you are at least willing to take the first step to lead to a resolution. Now, before we go into this, I wanted to lay down some ground rules for this negotiation, for this talk, this mediation. The first one, although it is expected that this talk will go impassioned, I would ask that you please refrain from downing each other, calling each other names, using unproductive speech. I understand that it is easy to slip to that when you are angry, but in the end, all it really doesn't do anything to accomplish anything. The second thing I would ask is that if I interrupt you to bring you back, to calm you down, to bring it back to a middle place, you do not contradict me. I have been doing this for quite some time. I ask you to have faith in me. I do not wish to take sides with either of you. My place is in the middle, and I wish to bring the both of you to me. Now, this is the way we're going to do this. I will ask Miss Fiona, as you are the party that would be closest to considered wrong in this situation, to please come forward and speak what your issue is, what your grievance is. Then I'm going to ask Miss Rose to speak her grievances. I would ask the both of you to not cut the other off, no matter what the other one says. I would ask that when you finish speaking, you clarify that you are done. When we have reached that point, I will give you the chance to address each other. Is this acceptable?
Yes.
I'll look at Rose.
Rose nods. Yes.
If either of you need a moment to stop, to calm yourselves, please take that moment. And I would ask that we all also recognize that as much as this circumstance pains us, Miss Black is with child, which means that as much as it means we need to remember that child is present and innocent and pure in this. Therefore, if she needs to calm herself, to step away, to do something to protect that child, full stop. But I will ask you, Miss Rose, not to hit the red button, carelessly or needlessly, although you are uncomfortable.
She shakes her head.
Do you find that acceptable, Miss Stormborn?
Yes.
Okay. Miss Stormborn, please. The floor is yours.
She rolls the ball in her hands, looks up. You have disrespected me at literally every level that I can possibly conceive. You've disrespected me as a mother, you've disrespected me as a partner, you've disrespected me as a changeling, and you've disrespected me personally. I don't think you understand how close you were to me, Rose. Even before we had dated, I considered you one of my best friends. Even after we had ended things, I'd consider us best friends. So for the way that things had gone down for me was directly insulting and hurtful, and did not even begin to acknowledge me in that entire situation. I was okay with the dating. I could have been okay with that. I would have been upset, but I could have accepted that. But instead, you went behind my back and conceived a child with my partner. You gave my children a brother or a sister or some other sibling, and no one even asked me about that. If I was just asked about that, I would have been fine with it, because I trusted you, Rose. But now? How am I supposed to trust you with anything? How am I supposed to trust you when we just hang out at culture? How am I supposed to trust you to have my back when a true fate comes into the city? And how am I supposed to trust that you aren't going to do something behind my back again with Dominic or my children? With everything that has been presented to me, how am I supposed to believe that you are not a threat to everything I care about? I think that about sums it up.
He'll nod, and he'll say, "Thank you for keeping yourself in control. I appreciate it." And he'll look at Rose, and he'll say, "Miss Black, the floor is yours."
She takes a deep breath and my issue is that I wasn't given a chance to speak. I wasn't given a chance for anything. Uh, I wasn't respected as a person that has feelings and thoughts and hopes and dreams. Instead, I was just told that I was a terrible person and that I didn't think or care about anybody else when no, I did. Oh, did I? How many times I told him to tell you? How many times I wanted to tell you and he said no, and I respected him because he said he would handle it because it's his responsibility. And then we decided to go ahead and have the baby. I assumed that you knew. I find out literally right after we conceived the child that no, you still don't know. And I'm on him every day until you find out from someone else. So yeah, I know how that looks. Believe me, I do. But I wasn't given a chance to speak. Just got told that things that I wanted was done. Accused of not caring. But she shrugs. That's what we're here to solve, right? And she'll say, that's pretty much about it. She'll sit down.
Thank Rose for your composure. I appreciate it. If I may, as I understand it, Fiona, what you are saying is that you were not included in major decisions that would affect your family, including by the person you considered closest to you.
Absolutely.
That your agency was imposed upon. That you were not shown the trust, care, concern, and consideration to be a part of this factor, such a major factor to something that is your life. Am I understanding you correctly? He's done talking. Oh.
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Fine. Would you
Anyway, yeah,
say
things-
that is a summary of your problem?
Yes, essentially.
And he'll nod, and he'll turn to Rose, and he'll say, and if I'm understanding you correctly, you feel as though your agency was infringed upon, that you were not given the power to control such a major aspect of your life, that you had all choice essentially taken away from you because of being told otherwise. And in the fallout of it, you weren't given the chance to necessarily voice your concerns in the matter, how you felt, your place and position in this.
She nods. Yes.
I hope that you two can see and appreciate what has come to light. Your grievance is mirrored. Your pain the same. You were both misled by someone you loved. You both put your trust in someone that was not a responsible caretaker of this trust. And it has turned you against each other. Can you see that?
Rose will nod.
Fiona nods.
There are many things, obviously, that could have, should have been done differently here. Unfortunately, they weren't. The actions that were taken led to where we are now. I know that care lies between you two. For your family, for the man that you both love, for yourselves, and knowing that you need to be strong in order to move forward for this child, looking at Rose, your children, for a future where your grievances and complications are put aside, so that what can be done to give the best life for those who have no control over life, the children in this situation, they're put first. So, Fiona, what would you like to say to Rose right now? Rose, please, I ask you to reserve your silence.
She nods.
He'll sit back.
You had said that you were not given an opportunity to tell me or to smooth things over. As much as logically I can respect that, emotionally I have to say you had weeks to bring this up. And I understand you respecting Dominic's wishes, however, in this case, you were very quick to force this issue to be solved. Such initiative was not taken prior. Also, the fact of you say you weren't given a position or a place here. The truth of the matter is, Rose, I would have gladly given that to you. But instead you took a place and position. I would have freely allowed you into my life. I would have freely let this happen. No strings attached, period. But it was all done so hush-hush. So now, what could have been a very joyous thing that brought us together is now something that divides us. And I don't know how to move past that.
Thank you for being so considerate with your words. And he'll look at Rose. Rose, I want you to respond and reply to only what Fiona said. When you are done, you will have a chance to say whatever you wish to her. She will have a chance to reply. But for now, I wish you only to reply to what she just said. Please. And he'll hold his hand up for her to go.
Thinks for a moment. Puts her head back. that I'm sorry that it happened this way. Yes, I should have told you. I should have just told Dominic, no, this is going to happen and we need Fiona involved, and I'm sorry that I didn't do that. Or sort of. I trusted him to include you. Involved. I had so many. Anyway,
May I ask you say what you were going to say before you said anyway? Please?
um, she. I don't even know. I trusted him. I trusted him to do the right thing, and he broke my trust. He broke your trust. We're blaming each other. Oh, I don't actually blame you at all. You know what? I honestly, in your position, I don't know that I would do the exact same thing, but I would be really, really pissed off. Yes, I would be. But the person who's hurting us, sure, we've hurt each other, but not as much as he's hurt us. Now, I'm not trying to place all the blame on him, but he broke our trust. I don't know what to do for you to trust me again, but I promise you that I will, at every opportunity, show you that I am not a malicious, treacherous person that you think I am. Because
Rose.
I'm not.
Rose. One moment. It's not the time for that yet. I'm sorry.
She stops. And
Fiona,
she's just like,
Fiona needs time to process what you've said. And he'll give her a soft smile.
she puts
And
her
he'll
head
look
in
at
her
Fiona.
hands. And
Yeah, he'll say, thank you for controlling yourself. And he'll look at Fiona and look at her face.
Her demeanor has gone down from punch Rose to stern words to Rose.
He'll look back at Rose. Now that he'll give her a few moments to process, just to kind of settle when he sees the ball start moving between her hands and not being squeezed like it's going to rupture. And he'll look at Rose and he'll say, okay, please, Rose, continue. You may say now what you wish to say to Fiona.
I'm sorry that you felt that I violated your trust. And as I was
Fiona will
trying
just
to
raise
Talia will look at her. Look at Fiona.
I would like to make a small addendum to the previous statement.
Yes?
I did not feel that my trust was broken. My trust was broken.
He'll nod and he'll look back at Rose and he'll say, Rose, may I ask you to reframe what you're saying less in an apology? It's not quite the time for that, and more just tell Fiona how you feel. I'm sorry, I know that's difficult.
I feel that she's being completely and totally unfair to me.
Okay.
And she's not seeing the problem for what it actually is. And she just wants to blame me because that's the easy thing to do. Instead of look at who actually really hurt both of us in this situation.
He'll look to see if she has anything more to say, or that was it.
She's trying to think, but she's really upset, and she'll shake her head.
He'll pull a couple of tissues and hold them over to her.
She'll take them.
Fiona, please. You may respond.
First of all, I would like to establish that what was done did take two to tango. As far as I'm concerned, he's definitely catching his for what he did. Me, from what I understand from you. However, what was unfair to me was ending a relationship with me only to establish a relationship with my partner without my knowledge. And what was even more unfair to me, which is my actual grievance, was to produce a child with that partner behind my back without me knowing. Now you can say that he hurt you, and of that I am absolutely sure that he did. And I absolutely think that it was wrong of him, the way that he did things, because it affected you as well. However, that does not absolve your role in all of this. I am holding Dominic accountable for his actions, or his inaction, as I am holding you for the same. Because I want you to understand, Dominic may look like he's being given leeway, but it is because of the ties we share and our current living situation that he's being given those. I do not want those kids to grow up without a father. And the time I come from, you don't just end things with your partner because they become hard. You work through them. So I can see how that has the air of nepotism. And I will admit, Dominic does have advantages that lead to me wanting to work things out in a far more healthy way than this. But circumstances are circumstances. And that I will take responsibility for, regardless of circumstance, unfortunately.
I think if Miss Fiona is done,
She nods.
that two things that we can certainly take from this part of the conversation is that, one, we need to acknowledge Dominic's role in this, and that you both recognize fully and place appropriate blame on him for the mistake he made. that an attack to each other is not, that neither of you wants to attack him. The other thing I feel we must take away from Light in this is that you both undeniably love all of the children involved in this situation, those with us and those that will be joining us, and do not wish to see their lives disrailed or disrupted by your mistakes. So, now that your grievances are clear, and you know what the problem is, which can we agree we have identified the problem?
Yes.
I'll look at Rose.
She'll nod.
What can be done? I see there being two issues of priority in this situation. One, making sure that the foundation for the children in this situation is ideal. Two, making sure that civility can be cultivated in the both of you. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to like each other. But you have children in both of your lives because of choices the adults in their lives have made that bind all of you now. Fiona, if you choose to stay with Dominic and he chooses to be a part of this child's life, then you and Rose will be a part of each other's lives. Because the children will see that. They will see the animosity between you. So all efforts you have to give them a good life will be for nothing. I have raised 3 of my grandchildren because their parents could not be trusted to give them the best life that they deserved. So I speak on this from a place of understanding. It is not easy to put aside one's feelings, their hearts, their emotions, and certainly their passions. You, Rose, your devotion and love for a man that you felt inflame your heart. You, Fiona, for your devotion, care, and love you poured into your family, which you made with this man. So, what can be done to repair what has been broken?
The one and only absolute demand that I have, as in, I will not negotiate this under any circumstances. There will be no romantic or sexual relationship between Rose or Dominic under any circumstances.
I'll look at Rose. Do you desire a romantic relationship with the father of your children anymore?
Of course I do. I never wanted it taken away in the first place. But, that's what I have to do for the sake of the children, and that's what I'll do.
And what is his decision in the matter?
His decision is the same as mine.
Are you sure? Or did you decide for him? Or did he decide for you?
Look side to side.
Rose is now just staring at Fiona because she knows the answer.
That, I will admit, was a demand that I made to him if we were going to continue on anything approaching what I thought we had had.
As much as the answer may pain you, you might want to find out what he wants, and not assume that it is what you demand. When a man's children are on the line, when his life, his livelihood, that what he is invested into, is the blade at his throat, you'd be amazed how you wouldn't even breathe to keep that blade steady. But is that really what you want to be? For your own love, for your own heart, would you want to be with a man who was only with you because to not be with you would be to cut his own lifeblood?
I will admit, no.
I'll nod at her. Rose, do you accept that Fiona needs to know that you are no longer a romantic factor in his life? That she may need you to take steps that would minimize her anxiety in this situation?
She nods. Yeah.
I'll nod. As far as the children go,
Is Tolya asking that to Fiona?
no, he's thinking, and he shakes his head. As far as the children go, I would ask that you allow me to offer my own advice on that.
I believe that you may say the same thing that I would ask.
What's that?
Despite my demand for a lack of romantic or sexual relationship, I have no intention of depriving my partner from his child, nor have I desired to deprive my former friend of the father of the child, of her child. I apologize. I'm not going to put the child into that situation because of my own anger. So for that reason, that is why I came here, and that is why my one demand is the one demand that I have, because cutting off contact would be strictly unfair, wholeheartedly.
There are 3 things that I would recommend of you. 1, and this is less of a recommendation and more, I am telling you this is what you should do. You need as soon as possible to contact a lawyer and draw up a clear custody arrangement. It is a long process. It's expensive. And you would be amazed how when pen is touching paper, how much time you suddenly want with your child.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part of that.
How much time you suddenly want with your child.
Okay.
I would recommend that you begin before the child is even born to invite Rose to certain family holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas. I don't know which faiths you follow, so I don't know which traditions you hold to. But I would recommend that you begin to include her in family events, because the child will be their sibling. So they need to see the inclusion so they don't feel separate from the child. And it will also help to repair the damage that has already been done. The third, although I recommend, I would understand that if you do not want to do this. I would recommend at times you go with Rose to her doctor appointments. At the end of the day, you are two women who was wronged by a man you both loved. Love. You should realize what support you have in each other. At the end of the day, you are sisters. And you have children between you. Nothing can break that bond. Not even something as unworthy as a man. I think you have noticed by now that there is a lack of women in my family. We lost all of the women in my family. Any woman who is with us now was born after the curse that affects us. So I tell you with assurance, I've seen the power and bond between them. I am a follower of the faith of Islam. I see both what celebrating and oppressing brings. That was my three defense. That one, a little more flexible. I understand that might be a little kumbaya.
I'm sorry, am I allowed to respond?
I'll shrug.
I am amicable to essentially all those, at least in some variety. The only thing that I would ask from you, Rose, is I understand that politics is a large part of your life, and so it is unreasonable to ask that you cut it out entirely in the presence of what we will have. There was almost physical pain in her voice when she said we. Those politics, changing mundane or sexual, I will have to ask that those be left at the door as much as you can control. I understand that that will be difficult in varying degrees, and I can accept that. I just do not want any of our children to be involved in that.
If I may, as I understand it, Miss Rose has had a shift in her political alignment, and the man who now holds the key over her agency is not quite so forgiving of carelessness in politics. He'll look at Rose. Is that correct?
Rose will nod. Yes, that's correct.
She'll nod. And she'll ask, may I respond to that?
A shrug.
As much as I can respect your change in allegiance, and as much as I can respect the interpersonal dynamics that you have, part of your issue was not granting you your autonomy when it mattered. I think that it would be unfair of me to consider you non-autonomous in this scenario. This is not meant as a slight against whoever this person is. This is more meant as he can have whatever hold over you that he wants. When it comes to our children, he's not going to have a say. Well, as far as the ones on my side of things are concerned, she'll look at Tolia as a clarification. Your child, that is ultimately between you and Dominic and whoever is ultimately a part of your life.
She'll look at Tolia to see if she can... May I respond to that, please?
Of course.
No, I understand what you're saying. And, he only... He keeps me in check. It's not so much as a complete removal of agency. He keeps me in check. Which is what I need. And...
She nods in agreement.
Things are going to be
Tolia will
better.
kind of smirk and shake his head a little.
And...
That is...
So Rose actually smiles. Like, yeah, I know, I've been a fuckhead. Shut up.
That's actually the first thing to a joke she's told Rosamund since that.
Look, I know I'm not blameless in this situation. I know that. I know that I fucked up, Fiona, and I'm sorry. But I'm Spring Court now, and I think I'm on a much better path than I was before. I want to be part of your life. I want to be part of your children's life. I want my daughter to have a relationship with her brother and sisters. I want that. I want you to have a relationship with her. I want everyone to... I want us to be a family. And okay, no romantic or sexual contact for now. That's fine. I want us to get along, and I want us to all raise these children. Raise them to be better than we are.
Did you mean to say for now?
Well, we don't know what Dominic wants yet.
This is true.
So, on my end, for now, I will refrain.
Fiona, can you appreciate her position? She's not saying that she's going to undermine you and seek a relationship with him later, but she accepts that right now he has not actually made what he wants known and cannot decide for him beyond the for now.
I can respect the respect for his agency.
It looks like Tolia almost said something and didn't. He just nods.
That's about the best you're gonna get out of her on this one.
Oh no, what he was going to say for the audience, by the way, in narration was, well, that's a hell of a lot more than he did for you. But moving along, as it's not productive for him to say that, he doesn't. He'll just smile at her. And he'll look between the both of them. So, Fiona, you have heard what Rose wants. Are these things that you can see a viable path?
It is definitively something that I am willing to try.
All right.
The only thing, I'm sorry, if you're going to speak.
No, I'm saying all right. It's fine. Continue, please.
The only thing that I would ask, Rose. She'll turn to Rose.
She's listening.
Before we establish any kind of, you say you want to be a part of my life, of my family's life. Whether or not I agree with that, or whether or not I am okay with it, she looks down at Rose's stomach. It's going to happen. So, I am willing to entertain and work with all of this. This is not something I'm going to use half measures for. I will say, though, that step one to all of this is going to be reestablishing that trust in me.
Rose will nod. I understand.
I would recommend, Fiona, if I may, that you at least take the time to have a conversation with Sullivan Ramsey. That is her primary.
She nods. And she'll
She
say,
didn't want to call him a dominant.
she'll nod and she'll say, because this current issue is a far more interpersonal one, in the very least, the children are less involved in this specific aspect of it for right now. I am more than willing to speak to this Sullivan man.
Rose will say the dynamic that we have is mostly kept in private. I assure you that to the children, it will look nothing. It won't look. It will just look like two people that love each other, care for each other, and more than that, because there's me and there's Sully and there's Devin and there's Lexa.
Families come in all shapes and sizes. As I understand this, you consider it your family.
Yes, they are my family.
So shrug. It doesn't seem difficult to me at all.
She'll nod and her response will be, if it's a situation between exclusively adults, yeah, get down with it. I just, again, still want it to be understood. Whatever dynamic that is present will become secondary to the, she'll throw up air quotes, family unit, which is yourself, myself, Dominic, and our respective children.
I believe that Lexa, if I think correctly, is the one you are marrying?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
So, Fiona, I would include him in your thought process.
Yeah, hands will go up, but not in a giving up way, in a all right, I'm cool with the way. She'll say, all right.
Yeah. I'll say the other two, that is a matter of he'll actually stop because he doesn't know the word in English. He'll say it in Russian. Oh, Rose, he's saying the word, it's a matter of, out of game. Now I know the word in Russian, but I can't think of it in English.
What's the difference in English? Like, what's the
Like when you extend something to, it's a courtesy. He says the word courtesy in Russian.
Courtesy.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, he'll snap his finger and
Yeah.
point at Rose. It's courtesy. Anything you extend to the other two is a matter of courtesy, but to our actual husband, Rose's husband, he should be included in what you see as your nuclear family unit.
Yes, Lexa is my husband and will be my legal husband next month.
My next question is, this doesn't affect what I say next as much, but I do need to know. Is Lexa planning on being, I suppose, a second father? Or how, do you know how that's going to work yet? If not, that's okay.
Yes, it's always been the plan that he would be her other father.
As I understand it, although I don't wish to crack up the situation, there is already an established relationship between him and this child.
Rose takes a deep breath and she'll say, in the interest of transparency, I think that it would be beneficial for Fiona to know that Lexa is Dominic's biological father. So this
I knew
this child is his grandchild. So
I do
No matter.
apologize for interrupting you, though. I'm sorry.
I'll smile. Thank you. I appreciate the consideration. Well, I think that we have come to a resolution in a healthy place. And the end of it. I think that what we can agree needs to happen is that and please let me put this forward as the final conclusion of the resolution. You tell me if this is what you agree to or not. You will seek out a lawyer to confirm custody, and you will work on the nuclear core family of the children involved, Dominic, Lexa, Rose, and Fiona, in establishing and maintaining the civility and harmony of your family, so that you can maintain these bonds. Yes?
yes.
Yeah,
He'll look at Fiona.
I believe that about covers it.
Okay. If you two wish to speak anymore, please, by all means, I can leave, I can stay, but I do consider this matter concluded. And I thank you both for your fair, considerate, and loving participation. You two came very far together. And I wish to respectfully tell you, myself, that I believe that this matter will resolve, and that you will find harmony together as a family. And he'll smile.
Rose smiles at that. Like, well, just so happens that our daughter's name is Harmony. So
He'll look at her like, that's funny. Are you two comfortable with concluding this matter officially now?
Rose will nod. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I believe so.
If in the future you need help, please do not hesitate to come to me. I am more than happy to help you mediate any future disputes. Or if you need help finding a lawyer, he'll roll his hands, whatever. I can help. Do you wish me to stay or do you wish me to go?
Rose looks to Fiona. It doesn't matter to me either way.
Same for me.
He'll slide down in his chair a little bit and fold his fingers over his stomach. It's a big fucking chair, by the way. This guy is huge! And he'll just smile. One thing that his picture doesn't convey is that he's literally covered in full body tattooing from about his collarbone down. Like his collarbone's
Damn.
down, his arms, his chest, everything, his hands. Like, everything is covered in tattooing. And he is dripping with piercings.
Would I be incorrect to assume that many of these tattoos were related to the Bronpa and their associated organizations?
Yes, actually many of them are.
Okay.
But he also does have, it appears, his tattooing is, there's a lot of skull motifs in his tattooing.
Mhm.
There also seems to be a lot of imagery and figure of death, of destruction, of things like that on the right side of his body, and on the left side of his body of fire, and of rebirth and renewal. It's a phoenix.
Rose is gonna look at Fiona and she's gonna say, I saw the doctor for the first time today, and Dominic has the ultrasound picture. I gave it to him. My next appointment's in 2 weeks, and if you want to come, you can come. I don't mind.
I'll set aside the time. This is part of the effort to build things back up.
Do you want it to just be you, me, Dominic, and Lexa?
For now, yes. If once I've properly met Sully and I get a good feel for him, and any other partners you may or may not get.
Just Devin, Rocky's son.
I'm going to.
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, I'm not going to question that. I'm not going to lie.
He's just going to wave his hands. Like, how did you end up with my fairy godson?
Okay, so
I
I'll
just
explain this
realized
to you real quick.
and I are co-parents.
Like, wasn't this the dude that tried to hit you?
Yes. But he wasn't actually gonna hit me.
Oh, he raised up his hands like, you make horrible choices, Amin. You know that, right?
Oh my god, she's like, will you let me talk?
Go on.
Okay, so what happened? What happened was,
Oh my god, what had happened?
when the Truffet was attacking, that some of the lost children aged rapidly beyond where they were at. Devin is the only one that went full adult. And he had memories. A whole lifetime of memories, and in those memories, and he's also an oracle, so he kind of jumbles his memories and his visions of the future, I've noticed. But in those memories, he and I had an intimate relationship, and I felt a very strong connection to him. So yeah, we're together.
You do you, boo-boo.
Yeah, that Devin's gonna take some time. I'm completely honest.
Yeah, Devin's probably gonna take some time for everybody. It's okay.
It's considering
Oh god.
first time I saw him wasn't exactly the best first impression on either side.
He was, yeah, he's better now. He's calmed down. We've talked. He's been tempered.
I mean that's cool. That's cool. But no, like.
No, I know. You'll have to get to know him.
Oh,
Please.
this is because he. Oh, you know what? I understand now. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I get something. He'll roll his finger like, I get something now.
Yeah,
She's gonna look to Tolia and she's gonna say, "What do you get?"
He's a part of your dominant relationship too. Sully's dominating him. He's keeping him in line.
Uh,
And Lexa, oh my god, look, I love him, but oh god, oof.
I mean,
That boy needs somebody over him.
real talk. I mean, without getting into romantic shit, I felt like I was able to shut him down pretty quick.
there's no
Shrug.
romantic. There's really no romantic relationship between Sully and Devon. It's
Okay.
I've
There's-
never in my entire life met someone who embodied the spiritual, like, essence of being straight. Ever. Until I met Sullivan Ramsey.
Fair enough.
you know. Yeah, Rose was gonna. She started to say something, and then she was like, "No, I'm not gonna
And
talk
I
about
need
that."
to remember that one of my son-in-laws is married to one of my sons, had his child biologically without changing sex, and still considers himself straight. Not once, twice. He did it twice. He goes up 2 fingers. And he'll nod.
2017 is filled with some bullshit that I was not prepared for.
Nora. And I lived 1,000 years. He'll nod. Okay, ladies. I have to go. I'm glad to see you reached a resolution. Lovely times. He'll get up. He'll hold a hand out to Fiona to shake.
She'll stand up and shake his hand.
He'll go over to Fiona and give her, Rose, and give her a soft kiss on the cheek, knowing that he could express that familiarity with her.
Oh yeah, for sure. And she'll like squeeze his arm, and she'll say, "Thank you very much for this."
Of course. And he'll stretch big, his fingers touching the roof of the faulted fucking ceiling.
Jesus Christ.
Drop his arms back down and just thunder out, each footstep actually echoing off the wall.
Rose will look at Fiona and she'll say, "So, we'll see you around."
Mm-hmm. I will throw out though. The same shade. She'll chuckle a little bit.
What?
One. This is going to be a hilarious story to tell all the kids when they are grown enough to hear it.
Right? Oh my god. Seriously. No. Fiona, my life is insane. I know that. Holy shit.
Secondly,
But it's calming down.
that's good to know. It's good to know. Second thing. Everything I did during all this, I directly learned from you. You were a good teacher.
Okay. She's gonna be like, well, god damn. She can't even be mad at that. She's like, fair fucking point. Oh my god. Well, I'm a good teacher. Jeez.
As much
Well-
as
You learned well, Fiona.
as sorry as I am for what I did to you personally.
I do want you to know one thing. Hear me out.
Hey, let's do it. This was a lot of hearing out.
What happened with Dominic was completely by accident. I did not plan anything. Like, I didn't intentionally break up with you and then turn around and get with him. was. I didn't plan it.
Honestly, as I already told you, if like that aspect of it was actually a lesser problem. Like, would I have been salty? Yeah, probably, but I would have been like, hey, maybe we should work this out. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I know. And as I said before, I'm sorry I didn't push harder and just, but I was trying to respect him, and I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry I didn't even give you a chance to explain yourself. You did,
that hurt.
And I won't lie, I did go through a lot of far more unfair options before that.
I'm sure.
That was a bit of that was, to be fair, me acting out on anger.
She'll not. I hope we can be friends again. I really want us to be friends again.
And the best thing that I can say for now is I'll try. That's why we're doing this right now after Talia's gone.
Yeah.
And at least try.
Yeah, we could have just, turned up our noses and walked away, but we didn't.
No. Because if you say you want to be a part of this family, I would be an utter hypocrite if I were to do you differently than the way that I did Dominic.
She nods.
Because do not get it twisted, girl. He is yeah.
And there's one other thing that I honestly had no idea. I had no idea that you two were actually like together. I just thought you were co-parents.
We were. I think part of it was. I kind of. It seemed like there was a lot of confusion. I'll be real. I'm bad at figuring out how people work. So, when you slow dance with someone and then cuddle with them, you kind of figure that might be a thing. Turns out that is not a very clear. That is not clear.
There can be a lot of very mixed things with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
The best thing to do moving forward is just to be very clear about how you feel and what you want. And please hear Dominic out when he tells you what he wants.
That's the one thing, Rose. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's the one thing with the capital O and the capital T. Like, anything short of actual, like, I mean, hell, y'all can, I don't know, find Pornhub videos of each other and jerk off to that. I know that's a thing that happens sometimes.
A smile comes across her face as she has an idea. Oh God. Okay. So you say you don't want a romantic or sexual relationship, which I can respect, but can we be allowed to be affectionate, things like that, with each other?
What do you mean by affection?
Hugging, smiling, being friendly.
Yeah, you don't have to give a motherfucker a cold shoulder, damn.
Well, that's kind of what I felt like you wanted.
No, it was
before, so.
It was literally don't have sex with him.
Okay, I won't have sex with him.
Or send him those weird kissy face things. You know what I'm talking about? Those weird texts and shit.
Weird. Oh, emojis.
Yeah. All that.
Well, you said you did just say we could watch Pornhub videos of each other, so
Yeah, but that's not really a sexual relationship. That's you jerking it.
Okay. She's, you know what? She is not gonna fucking argue with that at all whatsoever. She's, yep, she gonna let that drop.
Like I'm not the thought police here. If you happen to get some porn of you uploaded and one of you happens to find it and one of you happens to rub one off to it, I can't control that.
Okay. All right. She just fucking smiles like, okay.
Please no. Please no.
Tim, you don't know.
Tim, you have no idea. Oh, this is so good.
I will note, if you upload porn of yourself specifically for that purpose, that I will get a little salty about it, because that would kind of be. Can we just not?
No, she nods. She's like, yeah, no, it's yeah. Well, because she's just like there may already be porn out there of me on the internet from earlier today. She's not gonna say that, but that's what she's thinking.
God bless Sullivan Ramsey.
I hope you know I didn't even
Right?
know about any of that. I just mentioned that.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful, so beautiful.
But yeah, so like, but yeah, as far as that's the line. That is the line. That is the line.
All right. Well,
Completely circumstantially. But yeah, no, you can definitely smile to him and buy gifts for each other. Shit.
I can cuddle with him.
Uh,
Come on, that's not sexual. It doesn't have to be. I do know how to fucking keep it in check. I'm not a total whore.
Okay, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna. The end wasn't to the whore thing, because I'm not down for calling you that.
Oh, believe me, I know that there are people that think that way about me. I'm a sage escort, so you know.
Yeah, I will let you know. There was one thing I said to Dominic one time.
I'm sure, but I don't need to know what it was.
Okay, I was gonna give you the fair warning about that. Okay, it was two things.
2 things. All
I
right,
said two
fine.
things.
Fuck it, I'm curious. Fuck it, I'm curious. Tell me.
Okay, please note that
You were angry. I know. Tell me. Come on.
he was angry, and these are things we have worked out, and I will not be saying things like that from now on. These are things pretty much just said to Dominic. Privately. As far as I know.
Just fucking tell me, Fiona. God.
The first one was treacherous bitch, and the second one was
I knew
raggedy.
about that one.
Yeah, the second one was raggedy bitch wannabe from Real Housewives of Orange County.
Jeez, Orange County. It couldn't have been New Jersey. What the hell?
Or
you know what? There's actually a Real Housewives of Miami. Why couldn't you have just made me from the same goddamn city?
I don't know. I got the first. I picked the first one. I'm sorry. That
She just shakes her head like, God damn it, Fiona.
was somewhat going to be my will to do. I told Dominic that if I died, he was going to say that to you, and that was for me. I was really petty that day.
Yeah, I know you were. It's okay. I forgive you. Just gonna hold her hand out for Fiona to kind of shake it, but
She'll grab it. She'll grab it. You know.
all right. So, my doctor's appointment's in 2 weeks, but if you want to see me before that, I'm more than happy to meet for lunch or whatever.
I was gonna say smoke a bowl, but
Actually, so let me tell you something about this baby. She's not she's not your typical baby. She chose me and Dominic to be her parents. And she is going to be a... She chews her lip. Like, okay. And she leans into Fiona and she's like, you can not believe me, but I swear to God, this is true. I am having the physical manifestation of Freya, the goddess. So, not a typical baby. She likes wine and chocolate.
I'm a lightning bolt dating the embodiment of the world-weary scholar who has also just engaged in a peer mediation session with a man who I am pretty sure is part of the Bratva. With a woman who is basically the fairest of them all.
She smiles at that. She's like, oh,
Who has
thank you.
a child with said world-weary scholar. And we all come from a fucking fairyland. None of us actually remember, from all sorts of different time periods, including the 40s, including the fucking Middle Ages, apparently. You know, that doesn't faze me as much anymore. You say,
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay, well, yeah, that's that's what happened. So her name is going to be Harmony. And yeah.
Harmony Black?
No. You know, the last name of the baby is really something that all of us should talk about, because I'm going to be Faye marrying Devon, and we're all going to take the Caverly last name. Me and Lexa and Devon, we're all going to take the Caverly last name. So we kind of want her last name to be Caverly, but I feel that that's something that we should really talk about.
You know, you could just give her all the last names, right?
God, but her name would just be so long and convoluted.
I mean, I feel like she'd get down with that if she was as extra as you say she is.
She is. You know, before I actually got pregnant with her, she was like inside of me as, like, I guess I was her host.
What the?
That's so weird. Yeah. Well, she protected me.
Oh.
She protected me from Satan.
Wait, what? When did Satan show up? Where's Satan
Okay.
part of all
So,
this?
well, let me tell you a story. So, there was a there was a dispute between Ash and the Spring King from another city, and there was a deal that they were working out, and Ash pissed him off so bad that he was going to throw the deal off the table. So I offered to fix it because, well, I'm stage escort for Spring at the time, and my best friend is married to Ash, so I offered to fix it. So I went and met with him, and he wanted me to settle his debt with Satan, and I needed to do whatever he wanted. Which, of course, you know, he wanted to fuck me. But he tried to touch me against my will before I was comfortable, and Harmony wasn't having any of that, and shot his ass into the wall. He didn't touch me against my will after that. She smiles. I still fucked him, but
Why do
it was
people
on my
insist
terms.
on trading sex for things? Sex is a real thing. It's like one done. Like, why is that?
It's a commodity, and my body is a hot one. Miles.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess, but
And I enjoy sex, and I enjoy the connection it gives me with people, and it's something that brings people comfort, and so I do it.
I've had sex like twice, and I was bored one of those times.
Oh, you poor, poor thing.
That obviously was not the time with Donati.
Actually, no. Regardless of what you say, it was Donati. Fiona was bored.
I know, I'm fucking with you.
Regardless of what you say.
So yeah, he protected me from Satan. Yep. Oh, there's one other thing you should know about the baby. She has a protector. And his name is Halfdan. He is a pig, and he's usually wherever I am, but I have sequestered him for this mediation. He's probably not very happy right now, and I probably need to go back to him soon. But yeah, he is Harmony's pig, and while she is in me, he is my pig. But as soon as she comes out, he will most likely be tending her wherever she is. So I hope you're okay with an animal, because there will be one accompanying us. And he's very well trained. He actually uses the toilet.
You know, out of everything that we've discussed, I'm really okay with the pig.
Okay, the kids will love him.
No doubt.
He's really affectionate. He's just like a little dog, actually.
I was thinking about getting a dog at some point. So, you know, yeah.
Ah, you already have it at home! His name is Dominic!
Wait, what?
I said, wow, you already have one at home. His name is Dominic.
Damn.
That's some shade.
Sorry, I'm sorry for the shade towards my own character.
No, it's great. It's great. So yeah, there's that, and what else? I don't know if you heard that. I'm sure you probably did hear that Lexa and I left Elias.
Damn. What happened?
Oh. So the straw that broke the camel's back? Well, you might find out from Dominic anyway, because I went ahead and told him today. He wanted you out of my life, so he's the reason why Devin approached Dominic the way he did in front of you.
Fiona's whole demeanor changes. No, it doesn't change. She just stands still. She looks down. And she nods. Okay.
And that was really the last thing. I tried to make it work with him after that, but Lexa was just so angry and unhappy, and what he did was fucked up. I agree. And we're probably better off without him. So, you know, the last straw for Lexa was fucking with me and his son, and that wasn't cool. So,
All right.
so yeah. So we didn't tell you because, well, essentially Elias took that choice away from us.
Not.
It was a whole fucked up situation, Fiona. I'm so sorry.
You know? She stands up, smiles. We're working it out.
Yeah.
It's good to start to get my best friend back. You gotta hug Rose.
Rose is gonna be surprised, but she's gonna put her arms around Fiona and hug her back. And
That,
all right, I do need to go. I need to get back to my pig and my partners. But I'll see you later.
Yeah. Next couple of days, I'll hit you up so that way I can get to meet Sully and
Yeah, for
maybe
sure.
and-
Yes, you should meet them. Yep, definitely. So
I'm
yeah,
looking.
I'll see you around, Fiona. Me too. She smiles and she turns around and she leaves to go back to her room and in a much better mood than she anticipated leaving this place today.
Fiona, she has a smile on her face as Rose leaves. It's very similar to the smile that Fiona gets when she's in her happy-go-lucky mood. It's very bright and very warming. As Rose leaves, the smile starts to fade. Her arms cross. Bites her lip right quick. And says, right. I ain't taking that shit laying down. And she's gonna head on out.
As she leaves the room, Tolia will quickly kind of grab her arm, almost playfully, and kind of spin her around.
Woo!
And he'll scoop her into his arms, but it's a playful thing, and he'll lean his lips down into her ear. Say the word, and I'll let you know what you need to bring him down. Smile.
She smiles back and says,
And lean against the wall.
she says, I'd absolutely love to know.
Why don't you ask him about Marina? And he'll just smile. And like kind of give her the fingers to the brow kind of tip off.
She smiles. Unsure of what that means, but the other side of lightning is coming out now, which is that of dominance and conquest. Yay.
I am a being of life and fire, though I do not belong to the summer court. I certainly appreciate you. But you have a lover and children to get home to. Don't let my old ass keep you. Besides, I have to get shot in the chest later, and I'm not looking forward to it.
What?
I haven't died in a little while. I'm feeling so heavy. I feel sick. I need to die.
You know, you do you.
You want to kill me? Would that help you? Would that distress you if you killed me?
It's not that I don't think you're worthy of killing. It's just that I personally have qualms with killing someone.
But I'll come right back. It's boom, bam, boom, and I'm right back.
I mean, do we really want to set that precedent, though? Like, you know, be like, oh, but I killed Tolia, so it's fine. Like,
You know what? Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. He'll walk back in the office. Good point. Thanks for thinking for me.
hey, no problem, man. I'll catch you later. Thanks for your help tonight.
Of course, always. Just wave. And I think with that, we can end our scene.
Yes.
So, thank you, players, for playing, and thank you, watchers, for the watchings, and bye-bye.